I want to build a unique city in Minecraft, and for that I want to use a unique build style. To find this unique build style, I did the following, and I want to show you what I did so you can learn from that and find your own unique Minecraft build style. In this case, I wanted to build a medieval fantasy city that has some Roman ancient influences. So there we go. So I am in the new 1.19 snapshot, and the first step for finding my new build style I want to do for the new town is I needed to find the blocks. And that's a really important step because, well, without blocks there isn't much to build, is there? So what I wanted to do is I wanted to have some base colors. So the basics are of course black and white, but then there's also gray. So I searched for a lot of gray blocks that fit well together, that go very, very well together. And these are the blocks I came up with. And those are all the blocks that I want to use for the walls and stuff for my town. Then I decided, do I want the town to be darker or lighter? Do I want to have black and stuff like deep slate and a black stone, things like that, or do I want it to be lighter? In my case, I thought I wanted it to be like mainly gray, but also on the lighter side. So I have decided to go for some white colors as well. So we have some white colors here, some white blocks that also go very well together. Of course, not every block goes with every other block, but you just have to combine to see what fits. And usually if I build a house, then I wouldn't choose that many blocks, but because I'm doing a complete build style, I chose a lot of blocks. So I would recommend that. So you really have to study the catalog of different blocks and what you could use, because you can find some pretty cool blocks that you might not have thought of. For example, this dead coral block. Also, like, for example, mushroom blocks. Mushroom blocks are very cool, and if you have something brown or white, for example, those could go very well with it too. Yeah, I mean, I could incorporate that. And with the brown, yeah, moving on to the brown blocks. There we go. That's another one. It goes very well with the new packed mud. That's a really great thing. So let's add this as well to my brown blocks, but these are not only brown blocks, these are like all the beige colors. And so yeah, that's the other thing I wanted to have, is to have a way for the town to have a little more color. I didn't want it to be all grayscale. I wanted to have some kind of pastel, some kind of creamy colors, because my goal with the city was to find a style that somehow seems a little bit more ancient, like a Roman city, a Roman town, and as well looks medieval. So these colors look a little bit more Mediterranean, which is a great thing in my case. And you have to think about that for your build as well. What do you want to tell? Which story do you want to tell? Where do you want your builds to be placed? Which combination do you want to make? After deciding on these blocks, I knew I wanted to have like some sort of Tudor house style with framing, with wooden framing for the houses themselves. So I chose some different kinds of logs that I wanted to use. So these are basically all the logs, not all of them, but a lot of them. So yeah, that's that. And then the last thing for the block palette was some highlight colors, which I've got here. So we've got red and we've got yellow, which are the colors of the flag for the kingdom, which is the reason why these colors are the accent colors I want to use for the town. Of course, there will be some more colors mixed into the town, but those two are the main ones. The next step after finding the blocks was to find some combinations. And here you can see, for example, this is a very classic combination with cobblestone, moss, and stone bricks, mossy stone bricks. Then we've got this one with the coral, with the gravel, and another one with light gray concrete powder, light gray wool, and a side and stone also in a kind of gradient. And that's something that's good to know as well, is you can use things like wool. Don't shy away from those kinds of blocks. Just because it says wool, you can still use them in a wall. Here we've got another more or less classic one with stone bricks, and polished andesite. Then I wanted to try a lighter one with calcite, with diorite, and with white concrete powder. And yeah, I know this looks a little bit messy, but with the details, which would be the next step to detailing these walls, and that's why I'm showing the back side of them, yeah, it will get a lot less jarring. Here we've got a combination of different kinds of quartz, which of course go well together because it's basically the same block. Then here we've got some birch and sandstone, and surprisingly, it works. It's looking pretty cool. And the same thing applies as with the diorite and calcite combination. With details, this doesn't look too spotted. So yeah, here we've got just mud bricks, light gray terracotta, and a stripe of polished granite. Here we've got again the mud bricks, the packed mud, and the dripstone. So very, very modern kind of block palette here. The next step, of course, you've already seen it, is to get some details in. I would recommend you to just take your time and find some decorations that you would use, that you would do. Just try some things out. Do the things you've always done with the new blocks you maybe are not too familiar with. I'm not saying don't get inspiration. That will follow very soon. This is a little decoration for the window I came up with, and here we've got some framing and bushes. Nothing too special, very classic. Then here I played around with the new mangrove wood, and we've got some mangrove logs, or no, mangrove wood behind the trapdoors, just that they don't have this hole in them. That, yeah, it looks more like window shutters. And yeah, this is a window design that I often use with the trapdoors and the fence gates. And also I use a lot of this, like the fence gates, as a kind of, yeah, just a decoration thing. Yeah, here we go. That's the next one. I try to have like a little bit of a more flat approach with the acacia logs on, like, flush with the wall. Yeah, again, with some different kinds of flowers, and the mangrove wood again as an accent color. Basically, again, just very simple decoration. This one is one of my favorites by far, and it's a window design that I have never actually used, but I thought, like, why not try something new? This is what I came up with, and I'm really proud of this. And it works very well from the side as well. With a lot of these window designs, I had the problem that, like, looking at it from the side, it looks terrible. But this one is okay. This one works. Other than that, nothing special. Again, I've got some lanterns here, this decoration that I'm often using, and some trapdoors behind. Yeah, nothing too crazy. Here we've got more of a, like, ancient temple kind of design, maybe like a Roman bath, something like that. I thought it was a good style with the quartz. So yeah, I just try to do something like that. So as I said, I wanted to have like a medieval style combined with Roman architecture and things like that. So having some more Roman inspired buildings in the town wouldn't be too bad. And for all of them, I just tried to do different kinds of window... no, these are not windows, these are roofs. Yeah, different kinds of roofs, but I wanted to have like a very generalized kind of roof colors and roof variants. So I have this granite and brick one, I have the mangrove, and I have the mud brick. And these are the three window. Why? The 3 roof types I'm using in this town to have like a very red kind of feeling when you come in the town. You see all those red roofs, and you have that a lot in the more Mediterranean, like in the Mediterranean build style. Coming to the next one, as I said, it's just all basically the same. It's the decorations I usually do. Window shutters, this design for the windows, and some buttons, some fence gates, and the framing again. Here was a little bit more creative with the framing. Other than that, like we've got some buttons as well lining this, and some different kinds of bushes. And here again, I tried something with the window, and I had like this cool idea with the trapdoors. Then I wanted to incorporate some signs, because this, at the end of the day, this is just a library that I come back to and can look at it to get some inspiration again for the builds that I do. And I wanted to do different things. So what I wanted to remind me is that I can use signs as well as a decorational element, which works very well in this case. After that step, I went on the internet. I went on Instagram. Instagram is a great place to find inspiration for your builds, for your designs, and for decorations. By the way, check out my Instagram. And there's also Reddit, which is also a great place to find some inspiration. So I searched for these different kinds of inspirations. I took them and I made them my own. For example, here, I tried to have this in the block palette that we have. So this one was originally, I think, a spruce thing. And now we've got this white thing with birch and diorite. Here on top there were flower pots, but I had to remove them because, well, they didn't work in the white context, and the only small white decoration I could find that is really obtainable in survival is the white candle, so I used that. And yeah, I really like this design. It has the flaw that, yeah, from the side, yeah, I don't know if I love that. But okay, it's just about trying out some new things. I've seen this a lot, but in my case, I have very narrow streets, and when I walk from this side, I can't see anything. I can't see that there's a window or anything like that, and it just shuts out too much. I just don't love this. Here we've got a smaller design, which is kind of the same basic style with trapdoors all around and a campfire on top. Then I found this really cool gradient from oak planks to a bee's nest to a gold block, which I found really interesting because I am using gold as an accent color. This is a accent block that I use. Here we've got some more interior wall designs like this one, that one. This one is sadly directional, so we've got some things here on the backside that are visible, and yeah, so it doesn't work in every direction. This one with the beehives, which is really cool. And then I found this. This is another window design that I really liked, but I found this to be it's a little bit too much on top, so I tried something else, which is to add just a trapdoor, which I usually do. Like, I do this design on the bottom, like that, but to have that on the top is something cool as well. So I found these kinds of trees, which I don't know if I love them, but I have them now as a reference, and if I want to do something similar to this, then I can do it. What I then found is another thing that I can use for my roofs, which is to have fence gates opened, and then I have this nice little detail right there, which does look better on a greater scale. Now we've got another thing on top here. So Aspire is something I've never used, but I will do that for this town. So I found this with a different colored fence and different walls. So I tried to do it with spruce, and then the mud brick was the closest one in terms of the walls. So I think this looks really cool, and I will definitely use this window style in the future. This is more of a natural landscaping thing. What I liked here is just this. This is the only reason why I built this whole thing. To have granite on the bottom when you do things like this. That's another cool thing, just a little gradient from raw copper, glow lichen, and the bricks. This one I've seen so many times, and I've never built this. So I just wanted to get it in this world again, to have it in my catalog, to have it in my library of decorations and things I would use. Coming to the second of last step, which is combining the things we just learned with the things that I usually do, and to just play around, to just get my gears turning, and to figure out some new decorations. Maybe they're based on the decorations I just found on the internet. Maybe it's just something new I came up with right there. But now that I have this practice with all these different kinds of decorations and things, I thought it was a good time to just experiment a little more, to find some new things and designs. So that's what I did. And I wanted to incorporate more gold, and as I had this mangrove kind of roof style, I thought maybe netherrack works pretty well with mangrove, and I can get the gold nether, like the nether gold ore, into the design as well. And I've even got some gold blocks in there with the decoration of the mangrove trapdoors. Here I just tried to use this new window style. It's a combination of different window styles that I have used and that I have discovered online. And there's something else I tried, which is to have sea pickles with some azalea bushes. And this just looks like there are flowers growing on top of it, or like this is just another thing from the bush itself, and we've got some on the ground as well. And yeah, here I have this cool window design, which is basically the same one as this one, just without the shutters. And I've used this cool trick with the fence gate to have these two things coming towards the window and to have it connect, which looks really cool. Then I've got some buttons on the bottom of the roof, and yeah, it just gives it something. Then I used the mangrove again to get some color in with some red candles that I lit, and yeah, it looks a little bit ominous. Just another window design. And this one I don't think of using it in my world, but I thought like the new what is this called? Mangrove roots. Yeah, the new mangrove roots. They look really cool, but they are very see-through. They are very transparent. So what I came up with is to place some trapdoors behind them. Now they are not see-through anymore, and it looks really cool. It's maybe more of a like beach house, like, I don't know, things like that. Then here I've got a dead bush. All I did here is I wanted to incorporate the crimson hyphae. I don't love this. Sometimes you try things and they don't work out the way you want them. That's the thing we are trying to do. We are just trying some things. Maybe some of them stick and others don't. And in this case, I didn't love this. For the last design I came up with, this is a more chunky window design again, with stairs, trapdoors, and slabs. Now, the last and final step, which is, of course, combining all the things we learned, all the things we experimented with, palette and everything, to finalized houses. And with finalized, I mean just the front. So here we've got a house that uses a lot of the different kinds of decorations and things we just learned, combining the block palette, the decorations and the build style, the inspiration and everything together as one build. And this is a build that I would use more on the outskirts or as a special type of building. But for the city buildings, for the townhouses themselves, I wanted to use a more like integrated design, which I tried here. The left and right buildings are just stand-ins, so don't judge them. But it's about this central one, and here I used some different kinds of, like, I used this packed mud wall design again. I used the sea pickles again as for additional decorations with the bushes and all these different kinds of things. With this, I really found a new style that I like and that I built with, and I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I hope that you take this video as inspiration to find your own build style, to create something unique and cool that you are really proud of, as I am proud of these builds. And with that, I'm going to go and build my city now. If you want to see that, here is the playlist for my building focused Let's Play.